In Mamba River, the elders always said, no one can see someone who looks exactly like them and live to tell the story. But here was John, standing face to face with someone who looked just like him. It was like staring into a mirror, but this was no mirror, it was real. Let us find out what really happened. Mamba River was a peaceful village filled with hardworking and loving people. They shared a bond like a big family, and their main occupation was farming. In this village lived a young man named John, known for his diligence and perseverance. John cultivated yam, potato, pepper, and tomato on his farmland. On early morning, John set out for his farm as usual. The cool breeze carried the scent of the earth as he walked through the narrow path lined with tall grass. When he reached his farm, he froze in shock. A large portion of his farm, which had been overgrown with weeds just the day before, was now neatly weeded. The land was so clean and smooth that it looked like someone had polished it. It was spotless, almost too perfect to believe. Who could have done this? John muttered, scratching his head. He hadn't asked anyone to weed his farm, and he hadn't started the work himself. Confused and afraid, he scanned the area. That's when he noticed something even more puzzling. At the far end of the farm stood a young man, dressed exactly like John, working on the land. John's heart began to race. Who is that? And why is he dressed like me? He thought. The man's movements were swift and precise, as though he had been working there for hours. John, mustering courage, called out, "Hey, you there! What are you doing on my farm?" But the man didn't respond. Determined to get answers, John walked closer, his voice rising. I said, "What are you doing here?" "This is my farm." Still, the man ignored him, focused on his work. John reached out and touched the man's shoulder. At that moment, the man turned to face him, and John staggered back in fear. The man's face was identical to his own. Every detail from his eyes to the shape of his nose was exactly the same. It was like staring into a mirror. John's legs trembled, and he took a step back. "This can't be real," he whispered. Then, as he remembered the village's ancient tradition, dread filled his heart. The elders had always warned that anyone who saw a version of themselves would not live beyond 3 days. They would join their ancestors. Tears welled up in John's eyes as he cried out, "Why me? God, why is this happening to me? I'm not ready to die." To his surprise, the man spoke, his voice calm but filled with urgency. "You don't have to die, John, but you must obey my rules if you want to live." John, desperate for a way out, listened carefully. The man continued. "First, tell no one about what happened here. Second, you must only come to your farm once or twice a week. If you do this, I will take care of everything for you." John nodded quickly, his tears still falling. "I will do whatever you say," he promised. From that day on, John followed the mysterious man's instructions. True to his word, the man took care of the farm. Crops grew faster and healthier than anyone had ever seen. John became the richest farmer in Mamba River. During harvest, the bounty was so much that it took John months to gather all the produce, even from the smallest piece of land. Villagers often wondered how John's farm thrived so miraculously, but John never revealed the truth. He kept the secret buried deep within him, knowing his life depended on it. As time passed, John remained grateful for the mysterious encounter. Though he never understood what had truly happened, he learned to live in quiet gratitude, never forgetting the strange and life-changing moment in his farm at Mamba River. Let us know what you learned from this story in the comments. What would you do if you are in John's shoe? Thanks for watching this episode. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification for next episode.